Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket jacks. We are five-handed. 10 and L folds to me. I open raise with jacks. I wish I had, six max. We've got, something like this. I've got six max all here. We've got like a raise first in stat, something like that for the cutoff. And it's basically the same as what I would choose for a full ring. It's not, I don't play six max, but I think this is something we're attacking people who fold too much, and we get called by the button who's playing 12-0 over 25 hands. Don't really know much about him, so I'm just gonna say kind of a range that looks something like this. It's just a calling range. I'm gonna assume he would three bet ace queen suited plus, ace king jacks plus, something like that. I do have a note that says three bet range is ace eight off. But that could have been from, the blind could be attacking steals. 33% called pre-flop two bet, and you can see three bet. It happened beyond the time when this is providing an update, when the HUD is providing an update, so beyond that 12 weeks. I'm just going to go with that range, and we take a flop, and the flop is extremely good to us. Unfortunately, when we hit the board this hard, it is basically hard for a villain to have anything. So, while we should go ahead and be betting this, to try to build a pot, we really can't. Besides, I just see this villain only has 9 big blinds left. Our hope is just to try to get him to bet that. So I think we are checking this full house, quads, 3 of a kind probably, although we've got a diamond draw out there. I think we're betting the over pair. Let's get this 3 of a kind. I kind of feel like we're going to be checking that as well. We're heads up. But the over pair, I think we bet. We're hoping he has a jack at that point. Same thing, I think, with a 3 of a kind, maybe, that we're betting. We're hoping he has a jack and will pay us off. But at the same time, well, no, he's short-handed. We are looking to get all in, basically. So actually, we're probably checking everything. I think we're probably checking everything. I don't think we're gonna call. If we check, we're probably just gonna get him in with the pair, with jack plus, with top pair plus. We're probably calling with like 8s, 9s, and 10s. Probably just folding 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, and then we're calling flush draws. So that's I think our play moving forward. It's short stack. This isn't typical for most of the games, so this hand's a little unusual. Villain checks. I think at this point he probably would have just bet all of his decent cards, hoping to try to get all in. So we're gonna say he's got something like that. I think even the flush draw possibly would have been betting. But I think gut shot is there, so we're gonna take those out. So he is weak. Ace of diamonds. We're hoping he connects, so I think we are still. Once he checked this, I think we would typically go ahead and bet, but I think we're still checking all of those. Would we ever bet? I don't think we're betting even as a bluff, because if we bet as a bluff, he could easily call with any of his draws that he might possibly have. And I think we can check, and then we could bet the river, and he fold all the hands that he misses. So I think our bluffs work a little bit better. So I think we're just going to go ahead and check this again, and he checks behind. And at this point, maybe he has a top pair, but whoops, maybe he has a top pair, maybe he doesn't. He's probably scared of, you know, flushes and whatever. So at this point, I think we're doing something like that. And now the ace hits, and that's probably an awful run out, because if he has an ace, he's just now improved to beat us. Just now improved to beat us. Now at this point, if we bet, we could bet with nothing. We could bet our entire range here and expect him to fold everything. Yeah, I think he's going to fold everything except full house. So he's going to fold 80%. So at this point, I just kind of feel like we're going to be betting everything. If we ourselves have the full house and he has one, so be it. Because I think we're betting here because I don't think Villain's going to be betting. If he's going to bet, he's betting all of those. And those are the same hands that he's going to call with. So might as well get him to fold everything that we miss. And we would put them all in. We're not betting half pot. We're just going to shove them all in. So I think this is the mistake. That's the mistake that we have. We're basically turning jacks into a bluff at this point. If he gets curious and calls with, you know, like 8s, 9s, 10s, or whatever, which I can't imagine he would do, we win. But we're turning our hand into a bluff because we're going to have a strong full house 16% of the time, and all the rest. Again, I don't think he's calling to bluff catch. So if he's not calling to bluff catch, then I think we turn everything into a bluff at this point. So I think that's our mistake. We checked, we showed our hands. He showed queen nine, I showed jacks. Yeah, he wasn't gonna call anything on the flop. Nothing on the turn. We played it okay, except missing that bet on the river. So I think this is a pretty straightforward hand. Don't like the run out, but I wonder what it would be if it was deeper. So I think if we were playing a deeper stack, that kind of changes what our plan is on the flop. So I think we have a bunch of checks, but I think we're betting here our low cards, and then probably like 2-card backdoor flush draw, possibly maybe our overcards as well. Oops. Let's get those colored on here. Kind of as a bluff. That's kind of as a bluff too. And then I think we're check calling, possibly check raising our flush draws and gut shots. And 3 of kinds, full houses, quads. So we can kind of look at those, you know, kind of the breakdown and say, yeah, that's going to be our probably check raising range versus a deeper player. We're hoping by, you know, doing the check raise that he actually has a 7 at that point, or he's coming along with like the flush draw with the diamond draw. So you see 7 jack, he could be like 8-9 of diamonds, 9-10 of diamonds, 10-8 of diamonds, like a, you know, straight flush draw. People will play that and they'll call. So I think that's kind of where I would go with my bets. So I would check, and then he checks behind, and that gives us the ace of diamonds. And at this point, once he checks behind, I think that was actually a pretty good card, because if he had the lone ace, he's going to come along. But we also know he now doesn't have the diamond. So we already checked once. I think we're going to probably check again and look for maybe a check raise at this point with the flush plus. We could still do three of a kind, but three of a kind's kind of turning into a bluff if we check raise. So I think here we're checking probably our entire range. We checked once. We're probably checking our entire range and hoping villain's going to be betting. And I'm not sure. I mean, we could bet all of our diamonds. So yeah, I think we'll bet 100% of our range here. And then when that ace gets there, now we're changing. Instead of bluffing everything, now we're going to bet our full house. We're going to bet our strong full house. We're probably going to bet our weak full house as well. Seven's full of aces. But I think with our flush, we're probably going to be check calling with that flush, and it's possible we could check call with the flush and the weak full house and bet our strong full house. Our strong full house is only one combo basically, which kind of narrows it. Where did all my diamonds go? Oh yeah, because we were betting the ace high hands. So yeah, we've kind of limited if he reads me for having those ace x hands. If he thinks that I'm going to be betting those types of hands on the flop. So all right, well, we're gonna take some notes here, and call it a day. Get to work today on this Saturday. Hopefully you enjoyed this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.